Right, Jack, should we start messing about?
Yeah. So
Shall we get
we would like to welcome our newest member. Yes. Let's do
we
it.
done it? Come on.
Right, Sean, start
Welcome.
us again.
Right, should we start again?
Yeah.
As you can clearly see, there is only two of us today, and they've literally left Dumb and Dumber in charge of the entire production and the entire running of this show. I have no idea how this has happened, but at least you guys can hear me. That's the main thing.
I
So
don't like it.
welcome.
I don't like how you
Welcome
went in
in.
chat and said Jack's done me dirty. I don't know what I'm doing.
You did do me dirty. It
I
wasn't
don't know what
my
I'm doing.
mic, it was yours. This is just going to be a calamity of errors throughout this entire show.
Yeah. So yeah.
Just come along for the vibes, for the joy. Whether you're on YouTube rewatching it or listening in on Spotify or live in the chat, get involved. Get involved with the boys today.
So
So, how
do
you
we
doing,
move
Jack?
on? I'm good. I am
You good?
stressed. I'm
How
stressed
is
out.
You're stressed out. You can breathe. I think we
Stressed
can have a
out.
little breather now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay, mate. We're good. We're good. We're
Combined
live.
age of
Everyone's
80.
in.
You're pretty much right, innit?
Well, yeah, at least probably 50 at this point now. I
Well,
think it is
yeah. Well,
50.
I am. I'm 25 this month.
I'm
So
26.
fucking hell,
Yeah.
we can't even count.
We are fucking old, aren't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been basically left in the lurch
Left,
by the
yeah.
other owners, who are much better at this than us. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have a good show
Bring back
regardless.
Callum.
Yeah. So in just starting things off, lads, I want to just address something that happened in the past week that didn't quite go our way. Something that many of you was looking forward to, that being our clothing launch that we were supposed to have launching on Monday. As you obviously all know, it didn't launch on Monday. It got delayed. So I just wanted to give a bit of a reason, bit of a rundown as to why, so you boys are aware of it, and hopefully give a little bit of optimism as to when it's going to be. I know that's
Yep.
going to be the main question. So just starting things off, basically, we had it all ready to go on Monday. We had tested it out, put a few fake orders, just sort of dummy orders through, and it was working. I cannot say anything other than that. It was working. No idea why. We went to put the website live, press the link to make it go live to everybody, get it all tweeted out, and all of a sudden the domain wasn't working. It wasn't letting anybody or letting us, search the domain up. So yeah, I think that threw a spanner in the works, and that we were away at the time. So trying to get hold of people to fix the issue was a little bit of a nightmare. So we kind of pretty much most of Monday was trying to figure out why the link wasn't working. And then after Monday, it came quite apparent that we had to sort out a new domain entirely, which what we were told would be up to 48 hours in waiting for the new domain to be activated. So we pushed the launch back to Wednesday to give us the time. Obviously, let everybody know through the Twitters and socials. And then what happens Wednesday morning? It wasn't even our domain this time. The entire website, the company that we use, just wasn't working at all. So yeah, basically, we're in a situation now where we have no idea when this domain is going to be fixed, if it is going to be fixed at all. Hopefully in the next couple of days. We are ready, eager to go, eager to get these hoodies on sale for you all. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be in the next couple of days. But little announcement, what we will be doing to show our appreciation to all of you guys for the support is we will be giving away to one lucky winner a hoodie of your choice. One of Jack's that he's wearing. So he's actually got one of the ones that you can order, white with blue. So yeah, basically, we're sorry for the delay. We're working on it. This is new to us. It's a new adventure. So hopefully we'll get it all fixed very soon for you all. And yeah, one of you will be a lucky winner of a hoodie. So you haven't got to pay for it. So that's the bonus.
Long
for you all.
story
So,
short, just blame Sean.
yeah. Well, I mean, clearly we're not gonna. I'm working on both sides. Clearly, production on this isn't great. Clearly, it's not great on the clothes. Just leave me out of any of this,
Just
mate.
the old age. It's the old age.
I know, mate. Just leave me out of all of this. I'm just here for the vibes. But yeah, so that I just wanted to give you all a little bit of an idea as to why we didn't get the launch. It was frustrating because obviously we were all massively keen to go and to bring these hoodies to you that you've all waited patiently for. So stay tuned. We'll update you as soon as we have a further update on that one.
Yep. So
right then,
do
Jack.
we move on? Next topic. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, if you're able, if you don't screw it up, are you able to pull something up on the screen right now?
It depends what you want me to pull up.
Well, we've been teasing something all week to you all.
Right.
We've been giving you a
right.
daily...
Everyone in the chat, shut your eyes for a moment. Just so I don't just so I don't fuck it up.
We've got something to throw up on screen, and then
it's up.
We will be giving you our eager announcement. Yeah, you've done it right. Well done, Jack. Yeah.
So let's see, chat. Let's see what we think.
This is the final teaser for our announcement. Anybody in the chat?
I think everyone.
Any
knows.
ideas? This is the giveaway one.
Get 19 people in here. Let's see what we can see.
If anybody.
I know it right. Well, Katana, what is it?
Put it in the
Ryan,
chat, mate.
what is it?
Put it in the chat, mate. If you know it, put it in the chat. It is not team of the season.
No.
Anybody else?
Up the Dawn.
I
wonder what that means.
Up the
I wonder
Dawn.
what that means.
Dub Club. Right, Jack, should we start messing about?
Yeah. So
shall
we would like to welcome our newest member, Big Man Brookz. He's here.
The Don.
He's here.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, he's in. Let's not screw it up. Let's go.
Yeah, I've actually done something right.
Love that.
How is everyone doing, ladies and gentlemen? The Don.
Welcome,
here,
Brookz.
mate.
Yes,
it's taken some time. Zappy, I heard you were the detective, son. I heard you were the detective, Zappy.
He was in. He apparently I sport it. I don't know. It was Zappy that brought it out in the chat, and I was just like, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Well, one thing I will say is we announced it in the last podcast, and in the chat, Zappy said Brookz right away.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he straight off the bat just guess it?
I gave him no intel, mate. I gave him no intel.
He said
that was impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brookz is joining.
Inviting me. Thanks for getting me on the stream, boys. The car.
You're welcome.
I'm here.
Podcast.
So
technically, and our very first, what will be content creator for 22 Esports.
Yep.
The Don Brookz.
The Don Brookz. Here to I'm going to be here doing content casting. You know, everyone knows what the fuck I do these days. So,
he's finally got a home.
I'm here in partnership to just, bring you more of me.
Yep.
And obviously help you guys grow your business, and you guys doing a fantastic job in the scene. But yeah, I must say though, this is this ain't the first time you've asked me. The stars are finally aligned.
No,
it's not.
Nope.
I'll let Jack go with kind of explaining why, but I think I was the very first person early doors in Vanguard when we first kind of crossed paths. I think I sent you a DM, and I don't even think we really none of us, me or you, didn't know what the message really was. I think it was just like, yeah, do you want to join 22? And it was Jack for the longest, and probably before he reached out to you, Brookz. But Jack was like constantly on us, like,
get him.
Shall I message Brookz? Let me message Brookz again. And I think Jack took the reins most recently with enticing you in. So Jack, have a little chat about why.
So I've got
a
pointy finger moment here. If he's in the chat, Carl, whatever.
Where's Katana Carl?
Where is he?
Get that motherfucker in here as well.
So
not in the chat.
Back, I want to say it was August
today. I don't know where he is.
Back in August last year, I approached Sir Brookz here. Offered them, right, come on.
I swear you actually, sorry to interrupt, I swear you approached me before that one as well. I think this is the third time.
I probably approached you like 3 or 4 times in your chat.
This is third time's a charm,
But
no?
I sent the official message, I want to say in August last year. and it was all quite professional. He took it into consideration, and then that wee very small person, Carol, just stole it from her hands.
Oh yeah, because I remember I think Jack showing us a message or saying I think you Brooks said something like you know you'll have to think about it, or you're not saying no or something like that. It wasn't a no, it wasn't a yes, but it kind of left a little bit dangling there, didn't it? And I think we were like, oh, that's quite cool. And then what did we do? Did we just see like an announcement?
No,
or did Carl
sorry.
just
Then
say, like...
Carl just slid into my DMs.
Slid into his DMs.
Slivery snake.
And at the time, if it was me in that situation, I would have done the same thing. Katana, they were trying to grow to be the biggest thing, Ryan. But we know how that ended.
Become kind of the person in our scene, didn't you? Really, I think you
were the person to have.
Because we'll go into kind of how you got into this whole casting scene, but you were probably getting like 20 to 30 messages a week. I imagine people wanted to cast your games at one point.
Yeah, I still am, mate. I apologise to everyone. I'm only a man, and this season, obviously, I actually joined the season playing in the depths of Div 8, so I haven't been able to cast as many games as I usually would. But this is like, for me though, it's like the last ride, mate. This is last dance for me. I'm probably not going to play again after this.
You're not playing, you're not competing.
Well,
I'm just going to do content and actually just go back to enjoying it, because like I said, the scrim gyms, obviously I lost my way the other night and got a bit too irate in a game, and it was a bit embarrassing. So
it's all fun and games.
This is the last ride for me, mate.
Fair enough. So I want to, because I probably, out of us owners, kind of came across you first, I guess, and I'll talk a little bit about how I came across you, but then I want to ask you before that point. So I'll give you a point in our kind of timeline of when I first came across you. It was season 3 of ACCL, possibly season 4. It was around this time last year, probably actually May time, before the ACCL Sheffield LAN actually. So we brought on a new player called Hazza, and Hazza sent me a message when we were about to play our first league game, and he says we should get this guy to cast our game. And at the time, I think the old ACCL league had their casters well established. There was the go-to people, and it was a little bit of a struggle towards the end of those seasons where no casters were around. And Hazza basically said, like, let's get this guy to cast. And I think he sent me a link to your YouTube or something, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I like this guy's look, if you know what I mean. I think it was a YouTube. I think he was just playing ranked or the league play, whatever it was.
Ranked.
Doing like a live stream there, and I don't think I still at that point I don't think I'd actually seen you cast a game, but it was hard to find a caster. So I said to Hazza, like, get you in, and I think that was the first you casted one of our first league games, and we was watching it back in our call. We was like, this guy is like, this is such a good cast. This is quality.
Right.
I think it was
the production was unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know who the team was. Maybe me. I know it was me and Prime and Hazza, but I don't know if it was you, Jack, or if it was Shawnee.
I think it might have been Shawnee. Snappers rings a bell though. I'm not sure.
I've never teamed with Hazza.
No, so it was Shawnee then, because I think we brought him in before you.
I was maybe away working or something.
Yeah, so I think you came in later, like the season after or something, and replaced Hazza, I guess, on the team as the sub player. But yeah, I think that, so we was watching it back, we were like,
Vindaloo, thanks for the follow.
Yeah,
I've just heard Shawnee scream at the top of his lungs in my headset.
The one with the... Yeah, I like that. So yeah, I think watching the cast back, even though there were go-to casters in the ACCL, I was watching it back thinking, like, this is actually a really, really good cast, because you don't find many that gas a play up or get hype when there's a important piece, or one of the frustrating things is when there's like a really good clip that you're in the game, you're playing, you've hit a free piece, you watch the stream back and the caster's not caught the free piece. It's the most frustrating thing ever. And I think you had caught one of I think Shawnee's like free pieces, and I was watching that back. I was like, wow, this is like actually sick. Like, we need to get more of this guy cast in our games. But going back then Brookz to ask kind of the first question to you really. Before that season, which is probably your first full season casting, what was you doing leading up to that? Was it purely like what got you into casting? Because was it purely just live streams, or was you doing a bit of both?
It's quite a funny story, mate. Because to be honest, I actually didn't start streaming at all until March last year.
Chris, thanks for the follow.
Like never streamed or anything, mate.
Big
Like
topaz, man.
literally, I just thought like, I see all these people streaming. I'm like, fuck, I can do that. I've got the personality to do that.
Yeah.
So I kind of did a couple of streams in like the January that year, and then my PC blew up.
Oh.
God forbid. And then by the time it got fixed,
Wrong one.
hello.
Wrong one.
Hello.
I've ruined it.
Oh,
I've ruined it.
Oh, Jack, what have you
oh,
done?
the teams of the week.
I've ruined it.
And everything.
It's back.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
but anyway, so
Next bit.
By the time my PC got rebuilt, was around the March time, and then that's when Rank Play come out.
Yeah.
So I literally started playing Rank Play, and I reckon my first ever Rank Play stream, which was like my 2 or 3 streams that I'd done, and I'd like average viewership of like 10 straight off the bat on YouTube, which is obviously YouTube's not exactly the place to go to. Because me again, I thought they were going to do big things, but you know they didn't.
Yeah.
But yes, literally, then the next stream was like 15 viewers, and then 15 viewers, then 15, then 20, and I was like, I'm fucking flying here. And then playing Rank Play, you know, obviously me and the vibes, mate. I'm vibing with anyone in the chat, in actual game chat. This guy called Scaffor, the Icelandic giant.
Oh yes, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
So I kept getting him in Rank Play. I was either playing against him or with him, and then I actually went in and I was playing against him and his brother Civic. Shout out to Civ, the ultimate troll. But so yeah, I absolutely slapped him in a game, and then Scaffor was like, messaged me, and we actually teamed up, and he come in, and then actually messaged me on Discord and was like, have you heard of the ACCL?
Yeah.
And I was like,
I thought it had to be someone like a
ACCL?
like a player that's like brought you into it from just ranked. I thought it might be something like
I was
that.
like, what the fuck is the ACCL? Was that a place for nerds? So
Yeah.
they were like, well, we think you're really funny. We've watched a load of your streams, and they was like, you're so funny and you're doing well. Like, why don't you come and cast? And I was like, maybe. So anyway, they asked me to cast a game, and that must have been season 3 then, because it was playoff season 3, and they were in winners finals. But the team in winners finals blocked me from casting because I wasn't a caster.
And that's the thing, it was because they weren't official casters. Like they were hard to get, but the ones that were doing it properly were like always booked up. So it was really hard to find a caster.
Yeah, so I wasn't an official caster. So they lost that game, then obviously had losers finals. They win losers finals and then get to grands. And I shit you not, he was like, it was a Sunday, it was Easter Sunday last year. And I'd been out and he was like, oh, we might get you in for casting. It depends if this team will let us do it.
Yeah.
Guess who was the other team? Taze, Jackie.
Oh, yes.
Snev, Story.
Snev and Stories, yeah.
So they were in an ahhing, and they weren't going to let me do it. They were trying to block me as well. No. And then Civic just begged them, absolutely begged them. And they finally said yes, but it must have been like maybe 6:30 at night on a Sunday, Easter Sunday. Mate, I was like 2 bottles of wine deep, 5 beers.
Steaming drunk.
The cast is still on there if you want to go. But come on, mate. I was absolutely smashed, right? Come on, and that's why obviously people take the piss. I get a lot of names wrong, but sometimes, right? This is where you got to be clever, boys, because sometimes I get the names wrong, so people type shit in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, use your brain.
And clever.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, it's actually that's actually this. Yeah.
Interaction.
Being active.
So,
yeah.
Obviously, I was absolutely drunk. So yeah, Jackie Lee was forever known as Jackie Lee because I couldn't read properly, and so. And that was that. Obviously, from that, that season finished straight after that finals, and like 2 or 3 weeks later,
that was probably at season 4. I thought it was around that time.
After like 2 or 3 casts, that was it. I was getting blown up left, right, and centre, mate. Like everyone wanted to get on the banter bus, mate.
My first interaction with yourself, Brookz, wasn't a great one. I can't lie. It was yourself and Zep both casting, and we had
a poopy game.
No, we had about 4 series, and every series that you casted, we lost.
Oh,
and every series that Zep casted, we won.
Yeah, I remember there was a in
It
that
was
stage.
winners finals against Jackie
Yeah.
Lee.
Yes, it was.
That bowl cage hard point still takes me back.
Snappers, I don't hate you, bro. I love you, bro.
I've got cryo running around in my
Snappers, you
head.
don't hit me
Oh
up anymore.
no, yeah, that game where he
Yeah.
subbed in, didn't he?
Yeah, cryo subbed in, and yeah,
Oh, we were fuming. We got that series replayed, didn't we?
and still
'Cause-
lost it.
We got because he wasn't supposed to. He'd like transferred like 4 times, and
Yeah.
the league rule said he couldn't transfer more than twice. And we found like a loophole. We scrubbed it. We scrubbed
You
the
scrubbed
replay.
it. Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing? Yeah.
We
love
scrubbed the
that.
replay because the divisions were obviously and still are in XP are set up so that players like that are clearly way better than you don't play against you. So when we're
Yeah.
loading in, we're so confident. We're like we've had a decent warm up, and then we just like I think it was Cryo drops like a 50 bomb on bow cage against
Yeah.
us, so none of us can like. It's only him. No one else
Yeah.
is getting kills.
Everybody
We're
else
like,
was just sitting in the hill.
What
He
the
was
fuck?
he
We're
was
like,
just
"What's
running
going on
about
here?" Like,
killing.
we're like, get him out of here. So yeah, so I think Jack's memory of you was losing
Yeah.
our losing a series.
Losing winners finals, I must say.
Wow, unreal. How did you watch like a lot of COD? Because I seem to because if
So-
that was only your first few series casting, like
I'd
You-
never, mate. I watched a bit of CDL, obviously when it started, but
Mm.
never before. I'd say before Vanguard CDL. I caught a little bit back end of was it Modern Warfare 2019.
Cold War and that
Cold
as well.
War.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it wasn't really till Vanguard. Actually, no, Cold War. To be fair, I did watch a bit of Cold War, but yeah, until Vanguard, that's when I first like kind of really got into it. But mate, I didn't have a clue about casting. I just was like, I'm good at waffling, but something that I've got right, and I don't know how I've developed this site, but it's like I'm very good at finding the plays while I'm still casting. I think that's
Yeah.
one of my strong suits is
Yeah.
being able to still watch the mini map, because then that's why people say to me, "Oh, do you not see that guy's sus, or do you not see this?" But I'm like, boys,
I'm not watching like
got-
yeah.
I've got one eye over here on the chat. I've got one eye on the mini map. I'm got my third eye, the third eye.
Whoa.
Watching the actual game.
Yeah, as
No, but you get what I
casting
mean,
is so
so-
hard.
I don't see. I just have to do it. Like I get locked in, and it's just like
Yeah.
I'll go over it afterwards if people send me clips or whatever, and then obviously I'll back things up. I would say the only game of recent times where it's felt sus was probably that Onyx game the other week or the
Yeah,
other
where
last
they-
month.
Yeah, where you're as a caster you're watching it thinking like this isn't right.
Yeah, that was
Something's going on
probably
here.
the only time that I felt like that was a bit sus.
Well,
but
we've obviously we've been casting as many 22 games as we can, and I've only done one, but I think I'll only be able to do it like okay if I'm the one controlling like swapping players and actually seeing the game. Because when I did like a little Codcast, watching it through through a screen share, I was like I couldn't really see the minimap properly, so it's like I don't know what to look out for. So I was just watching and just commenting and as to what was happening on the screen. But I remember thinking when we watched back our first stream that you did, it was I think it was just that thing of like you weren't like overhyped or were just like constantly talking. There were points where like you wouldn't say much, but I think it's because then you're like concentrating and trying to find like the right point to come in and speak on. So that's what I was mainly trying to sort of get at is like you just naturally picked it up.
Yeah, it's just so smooth the way
Yeah.
you do it. The production is tremendous. When you look at our streams, especially the one that me and Ane done, it's not great.
Oh, watching that back, yeah, it's dry, mate. There's just no.
You just don't know. You
it
just don't know
takes
what
a
to
bit of
talk about.
practice, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to think though, when like a lot of people don't realise this, but I'm like what you'd call kind of a shot caller,
Mm.
and then I would probably benefit maybe a little bit for someone being a bit of a waffler for me. So in them kind of quiet
Yeah.
moments, someone could just come in and kind of waffle a little bit
Yeah.
about what's going on. I find the problem at the moment, especially in the casting scene, is you get two people that are wafflers.
Mm.
So then they
Yeah, it
just
just
start
gets lost.
talking about absolutely nothing, and then
Yeah.
they're not. And a lot of people, I do find a lot of people kind of struggle to keep up with the play, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like sometimes people are on the same person for too long and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to
that
say
is
there's a
tough.
lot of you don't switch off or they switch too much between two people, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
missing the action because you're swapping constantly. And what's it like when speaking on like last COD where you've got a bow cage hardpoint.
Chaos.
What map is it this year? I guess Fortress, where it's just so fast paced.
Yeah, but nothing compared. I loved bow cage as well,
Yeah.
mate, but I always prayed
cage.
that bow cage. Yeah, I always prayed that bow cage was map number 1 because my voice sometimes by the end of bow cage, like it was always breaking. Bow cage would beat me casting it because the pace.
It's just chaotic. Like
the
so
pace,
many
you got to
gunfights.
think the slide cancelling and everything, the way people move with MP40s and stuff like.
Like, what map is there a possibility for 2 people to drop 60s? Ever?
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. But I guess it's because it's a limbs in.
Yeah,
in
it's a
Vanguard,
limbs,
isn't it?
but
It's not
even at that.
actual kills.
But they were like cast, especially like some of your teams and that. Like I think it was snappers and that. Like some of these boys were going on like 5 spree after 5 spree after 5 spree. So it was kind of good content as well to kind of.
You jump on you jump on one person, they die after a streak, and you can hop on another one. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it's also about how the game plays out, the teams that are playing. Because I guess you probably casted some like dull, boring series because it's just either one team is just a complete wipeout or they're. Do you find like it changes much between the divs? Do you think like when you're
it's especially hard to cast. Like when I've done say back-to-back games, it's hard to go say from Div 2 to Div 4, and it's not because of the kind of gun skill and stuff. It's the pace.
Yeah, completely different game.
So it's so like faster in Div 2, and then like you go like slow motion if you drop down to like Div 4 and 5 and stuff.
Try and watch 5. Try and watch one of our games.
Well, you watched one of our like S&Ds, one like our first series of this season we played. Our S&Ds like as a new team was slow, wasn't it? We wouldn't make a play till like the last like 10-15 seconds of the match.
Too scared to
but
die.
then like series, you know, we've got a lot more comfortable as a team and making plays like at, you know, faster times throughout so some rounds they'll be over in seconds, I guess, with how quickly you can get to certain points and get into engagements.
Yeah.
Do you find when you go down to like when you go from like a high paced, close, intense hardpoint then to like a really slow S&D, is that tough to kind of drop down that kind of
yes and no, but you got to think it's a little bit of a break then, if that makes sense, on the old voice. I just think this year though, S&D's chalked, mate. I've never liked the idea of not having Ninja as a perk, mate.
Not being silent on the map, but just
I'm an old school gamer. You know what I mean? I just think like we should start thinking more about skill again and trying to cater to noobs.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be able to sit in a corner, crank your headset up, or as people are this season, having sound EQ on and not moving because you just hear when someone's about to plant the bomb or.
How many? Do you know how many Vanguard say 1v3s and stuff that I casted, mate?
Yeah.
So many.
You can get a kill, you can move, you can run away, and
there was so many, mate. With this, if you ain't got Deddy ready, that's GG's. That's the round done. You know, and then you have to watch someone sit there trying to wait for Deddy for 10 minutes, and it's like Jesus. And then
I was gonna say because
tries to make a play and he's dead.
It's boring. It's very boring to watch.
Yeah, but on the flip side, does that not make when there is like a 1v3 clutch like that a little bit more impressive, where you maybe have to be a little bit more consciously aware of where your dead silence are, or if you're like me and run trophy, you have to play scenarios a little bit differently. I have to. Well, I guess on the other side, for me answer my own question there, somewhat times where like me or Jack or anybody who's running like a trophy clutches a situation, it's probably because the other team are just throwing lives and just challenging you and
Sean,
make it easy for you.
You play S&D as if you've got a dead silence and you don't.
Yeah.
You just stomp about anyway.
I try and compare. Like the only reason that I say this though is because when we saw is it Ollie's 1v3 the other day?
Yeah.
That was a classic 1v3.
Yeah.
Where he moved.
You have to just be so quick with it, don't you?
He finessed the team, and he gets his 1v3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then obviously you had the big Carl made the play the other day as well. In the other game.
The chat might see that slightly later.
You might see that shortly, yeah.
Well, my point is obviously I was watching it live, But that to me was kind of a mistake from the other team, and I don't want to take
Yeah.
from his gas, but I mean, when 2 jumped the corner, but the second guy kind of turned away, it didn't make sense to
No.
me, and then I'm like, well, you know,
Yeah, and I guess like when it comes
I'm
to
not
S&D,
taking your gas, Carl. It was a very good 1v3.
we'll talk about that one in a minute, as you'll see soon. But yeah, it's just have you found like between the two games, the casting changed much, or do you still feel you approach it and handle the cast the same way?
Oh, I just approach it with the vibes, mate, innit?
Yeah, and
We
just
gotta
whatever happens,
keep
happens.
Yeah, you just got to keep the fun bus rolling.
At
That's
the end of the day, it's still a hobby for us all. It's
Exactly,
not like,
and it's good
it's not
fun.
anything
All I do it
serious.
for is fun, mate. Do you know what I mean? I do it for fun. I don't, I'm
But that's
more,
what
like I
makes
say,
your
I wanted to be. That's why I got into like YouTube now. I wanted to do content. I didn't want to do something so professional. I've got a real life job.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was going to ask. Like, obviously, you're for those that don't know, you're obviously going to be soon back on your live stream grind a little bit, aren't you? Because you're wanting
Yes.
to not step away from casting, because I think that's where you've found a nice little I don't know what you call it, like a hole in the
Base,
market.
yeah.
But you found like you found yourself a little place where you can have your base to start everything else after that. But you're hoping to kind of not be doing casting every single day.
No, exactly. I just, I'm not going to cast every day. I'm going to be casting still. But yeah, I want to do it, like get some of your boys in, some of the boys in the chat. We can make some content.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then I can get it up.
One thing I will say is, get this man. Was it 150? Was it
Oh, yeah,
1,000?
we're
You need 150.
160 subscribers away from 1,000 on YouTube,
Yep.
mate.
Get
So-
this
Well,
man
there's
to
18 in this
1,000
chat right now,
subscribers.
so 18 of you get over to YouTube right now.
Yep.
No,
Well,
I bet
after,
some of
do it
these
after.
gangsters
Do it
already,
after.
Brooks,
some of
Brooks
these
UK, is
gangsters
it?
are already there, mate. No, it's just Brooks.
Just Brooks. You'll find it.
Yeah.
We'll get
We'll
you
get
those
them
followers,
linked.
mate. Yeah, we'll get those tweeted out. But yeah, that's another thing as well. That's a little idea for a series. What rank are you on MW2 right now?
I'm diamond, mate.
Let's get Brooks to iridescent.
Let's
Let's
get
get Brooks to iridescent.
To be fair, that was the series from burger to best, mate.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
I've started it, mate, but I got to diamond. But it's just getting people online. No, obviously the game's kind of a little bit,
The owners are always
like-
online. We're always here.
We're not getting
Yeah,
into
like-
iridescent, mate. I'm not getting into it. I'm stuck in diamond at this point. But that's
The thing
ranks.
is, I'm not a shit player, like
Yeah, you'll be.
I
Yeah,
don't know how finesse my way into Div 8, but
Oh, you saying you should be higher up?
no,
No.
because the skill gap is very, very close between. I would say between Div 5 to Div 8. I'd say it's very close.
Well, yeah, I think 5. I think I've always put it as like 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and then 7 to like 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Because I think
And
when we scrim,
Callum, shittles.
well, we scrim some
Zappy,
Div 6
get me there,
teams.
bro. Get on the Smurf
Zappy will
account
get
and
there.
get me there, Zappy.
We'll be. I think we're Div 5. When we scrim some Div 7 teams, it's like easy. But when we scrim Div 6 teams, they can be a lot closer. So I think just from judging how our scrims have been, sometimes I think Div 6 can hang, but some
Yeah.
teams also can't. In that sort of Div 5, that middle.
I don't
division
think
type thing.
I don't think the divisions will ever be fully set for teams. Like they should definitely be in 6, and they should definitely be in 5.
Yeah.
Considering
Yeah,
you
no,
get
it's
new
always
teams
going to be close.
every month. You're always going to have the teams in divisions that
Well,
just walk
this
the park.
this segues nicely actually into one of the questions I want to talk about. And Zappy's in the chat, so Zappy, I want some comments from you.
Yep.
22 Onyx have disbanded. They have all gone free agents.
Broke my heart.
They have spat the dummy out, as
You've
as the
broke my
Scottish
heart,
say.
Zappy.
Unbelievable. They they've all quit. So 22 Onyx unfortunately have forfeited their remaining games and are no longer competing in Div 2.
And Shawnee
And-
wants words. Don't forget that bit.
Yep.
Mate, yeah, Shawnee wants words with you, and Chazzy, and Taze.
Yep.
Who's the other one? No, I'm joking. Rafi. I'm
Rafi,
joking. I'm
yeah.
joking. It was Rafi. I'm joking. But yeah, Taze, Chazzy, and Zappy got involved a little bit more. But I want to talk about that kind of talking about divisions there. Are teams, especially those that are playing higher up, are they too quick to disband and quit when things aren't going wrong? Because Onyx seemingly have disbanded after
Couple of
losing 2
games.
games in a row. You know, playoffs is still was still in reach. You know, they might have had to have gone on a losers run, but they weren't out of the season. So it did
I
seem odd to
think-
me from the outside in, but I was just interested to know your thoughts really on it.
I think if the vibes are off in a team, it's never gonna go anywhere. Like as I said, Topaz has always been quite a vibey team.
Yeah,
But,
Zappy
like-
says talent is there, vibes were not, and it's a good point. Yeah. I think when vibes
Yeah.
aren't there,
You just
and
don't
you're
you don't want to
losing,
play.
both of those two are, I guess, recipes for disaster. I think if you've got if the vibes aren't there but you're winning, maybe you stick it out and
Yeah.
you keep going, and vice versa. If you're not winning but the vibes are there, the teams stick it out.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the higher divisions you look at, the more frequent these teams like split up and don't just
There's never
they'll
a team
scrim for a couple of days.
that
and
sticks
then,
together for long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange to me, like, because I'm coming from like what you'd call the old era of COD.
Yeah.
I'm I'm COD 4.
Well,
mate.
same. Yeah.
I was a heebie-jeebie COD 4 player, mate. There weren't no hard points when I was playing. It was all S&D.
It was domination.
Domination, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get the vibes thing, but vibes only comes with friendship, if that makes sense, you know. So you're never going to make friends if you. I don't mean. There's obviously being acquaintances with people, but I mean actual friendships and stuff. And you're not going to get that unless you play together, you know, unless you play a lot of games together. I do think, especially me casting, I do find it quite odd sometimes how quick some of these teams are breaking up, especially after like 1 or 2 games. Because, mate, with my old teams and stuff, we could have full blowouts, like go away, not talk to each other for an hour, and then come back and everyone loves each other again, you know. But yeah,
Malice makes a good point in the chat.
Do you not think though people are a little bit too maybe like because like Zappy says the talent's there, the vibes are not, but maybe the kind of style that they needed to play wasn't right, and they weren't honest with that. If that makes
I think
sense, you know.
With the Onyx situation, I think Zappy, when they started, when the team on paper got picked up, you're like, wow, that's a very nice roster. But then it's the little things like Zappy has to go from running Dead Silence to running a trophy, and maybe his play style has to change a little bit. And when you're maybe trying to change a play style to suit a team, I can understand that being a bit difficult. Malice makes a good point that maybe teams are, you know, trying to play too perfect. They at this point in the game now, we all know, I guess, we all understand how the game plays competitively, spawns, rotations, etc., etc. And I guess a couple of times, because there's going to be situations where you get like a bad spawn, or the spawn system on this you can't some spawns you can't predict, and that might be the reason you lose a map. But you shouldn't put losing one map or then losing the series down to like, I don't know how scrims are going. I just look at it and think perhaps that was maybe a bit premature quitting like that, or I think in Zappy's case he's not enjoying the game, so he's decided to step back. But then what about the other 3? Why aren't the other 3 sticking it out and picking up a player and, you know, trying to build something? I just think I like me and Jack picking up the 2 players we've got, like I can see that being a long-term thing, at least for, I know we're getting towards the end of this game, but
winning, that's what it is.
Yeah, like I'm always looking at thinking like
numbers, and then we'll keep
yeah, exactly. Carry me, and that's what you need to do.
But I'll add something there, Sean. We've had 2 games so far. We've had Vanguard and this that we've teamed together. How many seasons do you reckon we've had? Possibly no, like even just through the whole through the whole games. 10 maybe. I mean, 9.
Yeah.
We've maybe like not teamed together on but 3 of
couple
them.
of them. Yeah.
So like we always seem to
because
come back to each other.
I always thought and when me and Jack teamed season 1 of MW2, and with my house move, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to play as much, or didn't even have an internet set up for a while. I had no idea how long that would take, but I always figured like that, you know, Jack obviously still supporting the team and still watching the team. I always figured, you know, a season or 2 down the line, like we'll get back together and play again.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you know, you're looking at, I'm always looking at trying to, I filled in for teams this season, and I've, you know, kind of just played where I can play, but I've always had a goal of I want to build a team that is long lasting. But even if we don't win this season, like I want it. I want to build from that, if you know what I mean. And I
That's
guess
what I
that's
mean.
just
That's where the vibes comes from, friendship. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at. It's
Yeah.
like Zappy saying in the chat there, Emerald was the perfect team, vibes whether we won or lost. But what I understand is they obviously seem like real good mates.
Sorry,
before
I'm
Yeah.
going to
them.
stop you right there. There he
Oh,
is.
into the
He's
chat.
here.
It's Carl. Let's go, Carl. I was about to say anything. I was about to give Carl some gas here.
Go on.
He's coming at the right moment.
Give us some gas.
But my point was obviously he's talking about Emerald, and I actually thought about this. I think I was talking to one of you guys last night about it.
Yeah.
I believe, like, again, it's styles make fights is one of the things. And I tell, like, you know, my Div 8 team and that, like, the other night we had a bit of a shitter, but we've been rolling people, and I was like, they just had the perfect style that just didn't work for us. Like, our subs couldn't get close to them. It just is what it was. And I find with Emerald, like, someone like Carl, he did the most unselfish job. Like, he had the shit job, mate. No one
Sat
wants
on
to
the
sit
hill.
on hill. No one wants to get farmed because they're just trying to get to hill and stuff. But doing
Zappy, that's a
that,
big word.
yeah, but do you get what I mean? Like, it's an unselfish job, though,
Yeah.
like what he done.
Yeah,
And that,
but-
to me, kind of could have been the glue that worked for that team.
This is going to be. This is not a genuine comparison. I'm just using it for an example. But you look at like the old Optic, like early doors, like COD Ghost, like Nade Shot was a player.
There's Sean bringing
Yeah.
his CDL back in every
I
week. Every week.
I'm
Sean's
using that as
ghosty. Yeah, Carol's nade shot. There we go.
I'm using that as an example of like a player that, like, you know, does so much for the team, but the underlying stat. But that's another thing as well, that this season and in the past year or two, stats have been something that like gets massively like looked into now with a.
Sorry, Zappy, I thought Carl was a rapist, not a nonce. Just
Whoa.
Whoa.
anyone
Jesus.
from season
5'3", he's not doing none
anyone
of
from
that.
season 2 will get that reference. mate.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean, you know, teams perhaps look at stats too in depth too much nowadays. I think people are always trying to have a map where they go like double positive, and when they don't go double positive, they're, you know, start to worry or get in a bad hump. But at the end of the day, like if you're winning games, like it doesn't matter what your team's doing, and you've got to look at it. And that Emerald team, for example, I'm again not trying to give Carl an ego here, but replace Carl with a sub player that perhaps runs around and gets a lot more kills.
Yeah, exactly. Once
Do
he's
they play as well as they do? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's the kind of the point that I'm trying to make is that, do you think though that people drop players as well because they'll get to the end of the game, say it finishes 250 to 230 loss, right? But they'll see a player, we just use Carl for instance, on 12 and 24, and they'll be like he needs dropping, he's 12 and 24. But you know, if you're dropping 3 minutes on the hill, it don't matter. You know?
all right. I've just seen a message there from Snappers in the chat. I think we move on to Team of the Week, Jack.
Yeah, right. I've got one more point.
He's eager to hear our explanation as to why certain players.
I've got one more point on the whole team thing. I have noticed in 22 there's a lot of duos. It seems to be teams full of duos. For example,
who's going to be my duo now?
me and you.
Ooh.
We've got Shawnee and Lewis. If people in the chat, stick your duos in the chat so we can see who we've got.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that have like two that are always a team of two looking for two other players or bringing players in. But that's a good foundation for a team, because at the end of the day, like, you're not having to mess about finding 3 new players that you've never played with before.
Yep.
So
Ant and Ryan. Here we go.
Yeah.
Zappy, come and join me in Div 8, bro.
But see if a team is fundamentally wrong, it's never going to work.
No.
If
So
the
you have
rules
to,
are
like,
wrong,
It has to be a base of understanding gameplay. Like, I've played with Jack when Jack's been a sub, Jack's been an AR, and I think me and him work best when he's an AR.
Yeah.
So when he's been a sub, you know, I've maybe not played as well with him, but I've always looked back at him thinking, like, when we've done 2v2s or when we have teamed on him on an AR, we always seem to just click
so much
and
better.
it worked well together. So
yeah, there you go. A's and
A's
Buff.
and Buff, there you are. That's the
There's
duo,
one.
the GOAT duo.
Who else have we got?
Who have we got in Sapphire? Maybe Akuma and Malice, I think, are
Yeah.
team of 2.
Carl and Ollie. I love that boy.
Come on,
There you
Ollie.
go.
Yeah.
Luto and Sean.
Oh, Hasty and
Hasty and
Atlas. That's a
Atlas.
good one. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. So
Was
and again.
Hasty the guy putting in all those pornographic things?
Yeah,
Mate,
let's
don't
let's go back to that.
Jeez.
Hasty,
That
you
was
dirty,
annoying.
dirty boy.
Someone's clicking links they shouldn't do. If you get a DM from anybody with
Yeah.
a link, why are
Don't
people
click
clicking
it. Woko and 60.
Woke
Yeah.
60. I like that. Yeah. Right, let's go on team of the week. Throw it
Waka.
up.
Where is Waka?
He's quit, mate.
He's gone.
He's quit.
Scallywag.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play. Doesn't want to play MW2. He plays COD for about 3 months and then gives up.
Right, on this next one, there's a lot of slides, so just give me a break, okay?
Right, Jack might screw this up, but let's get this up. In fact, some of you might have already seen it. It's
Yeah.
been
It's been here.
on
It's
screen
been
a
here.
couple of times.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we
Who's
go.
those handsome faces? Who am I
Right,
next
well-
to? I'm with Shawnee. Can I
Yeah,
like,
that's
put my arm around him?
other way.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong arm.
Okay.
There you go. There's a
Obviously,
picture.
Three owners are here to
Get the
discuss
phone
their team of
out.
the week. And for the record, rigged. there is there is clearly one player here that we've all picked, and I
Yes.
think it's a no-brainer that Shawnee is in our team of the week. What a series! We played 2 series this week. And
Was he cooking?
in one of
Yes.
them, he dropped like a 2.14.
Yes.
And
he
actually,
was-
he dropped a 2.14 against the team that are, I think, second in Div 3, that are were perhaps, I guess, looked
they
at
were
as their,
top at the time.
yeah, their seeding rivals. So, but and I know what you're saying there, Ant, about him kill whoring, but watching the series
Nah.
back, he's just gunning people. Gunning people.
What I will say is, Hasty put a good point in there. As owners, we see all of the chats. We see every scoreboard that gets put in there.
Yeah,
the
and
players
that's the thing.
don't.
It's like, yeah.
We can see
So
people dropping
Uh,
40, 45 bombs.
I don't know
like-
what. Yeah, I mean, it's easy just to look at scoreboards at the end of the game and go, well, he's in my team of the week because he's got, I don't know, 28 and 2, 28 and 12 or something like that, like a stat line that looks good. But when you actually, this is why we want to get as many games as we can casted, because there are certain plays, or a player might not have. Like I will pick a player that's had a negative KD overall if I think he's been instrumental to them winning and making plays on the map. But if I don't see the stream and I can only go off our scoreboard, sometimes you do have to go off just what the the KD and the hill time looks like. But I think you can all agree that Shawnee was unreal in his 2 series he played this week,
Yep,
and
I
is
can
fully
vouch for that.
deserving of it. Anybody else that wants to dispute that, I will fight you in the parking lot anytime.
Or
Moving on.
Shawnee donated £5 via PayPal.
Yep. Shawnee did.
There's,
Shawnee did pick himself, and that I wasn't very
hey,
happy
this is-
about that. But
If
The owners passed it.
If I'm having a good series, I'm putting myself in there. Absolutely, I'm picking myself if I think I deserve it. Surely he deserves it, so why not pick
I mean,
himself?
I
Absolutely.
didn't pick myself week 1.
Yeah, but there could have been other people. You weren't being if you picked yourself, you wouldn't have been biased because everyone else picked you as well. That's not I'm picking myself every week. And the other player in this list, or the two other players in Quintana that's been picked by 3 of the owners. Interestingly enough, 3 that aren't here in this call.
Yes.
Me and Jack have gone with Akuma.
It's
Sapphire.
a no-brainer for Akuma.
Brookz, this is a player that if you get to cast a Sapphire game, Akuma has unreal takeover ability in a series. He's their player that it's not even like carrying them, but the guy is just dropping constant 30 bombs
numbers,
in
yeah.
every
I
respawn.
think
And
he does carry.
Did Shawnee cast that game?
No, we haven't. We didn't get
No.
them casted this week, unfortunately. We couldn't get them on the stream. They played against Extreme Ultra, was it? In Div 6,
okay.
it was a 3-0 for them. In fact, we'll move on. So Quintana, as you can see, have been picked by 3 owners, so he by default is in the team of the
sense.
week.
One
Aqua
one other
played.
thing, Callum has voted for me and Mids. Me and Mids lost our game this week.
Lost. Hold on. Well, you had 2 substitutes.
Yeah, we had 2 subs.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They played a series this week. 2
And
substitutes.
Chris,
And I
if you're
guess-
in the chat, I did say I would pick you for team of the week, but you didn't get 3 minutes in the hill, So unfortunately, I couldn't pick you.
Wow, was that Carl?
Yeah, but
Did you see
he
that,
got
Carl?
2.5 minutes, but yeah, it wasn't
Yeah. So
3.
we've got yeah, I think maybe Callum's picked you and mids, Jack, because you had to play with 2 pickups, and
Yeah.
you know, both between you both. I mean, that series.
Participation trophy.
No, when you look back at the stats, them 2 were like carrying the 2
Yeah.
pickups basically.
Yeah.
So they did
So
all they
we
could
had
to try and get that.
we had an A who was on
Yeah.
the AR. We also had mids, one of his IRLs, who I must add
Hasn't really
has
played
never
COD.
played like comp COD at this level ever.
Oh dear.
And
But
I think he's probably picked him on that thing of,
yeah,
you know, that series is probably a 3-0 if Jack and mids aren't playing, like they're playing like extra good, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the picks, but I think there are players that deserve it more than Jack and mids.
so
Luto's another
as you
player.
can see, oh, sorry, you can go Lewis first.
Go on. I was just, I mean, Luto
Yeah.
again, free picks.
Yeah.
Me and you picked him. Again, I've already explained this to snappers, but Sapphire played 2 series this week. In the second series they played, snappers wasn't available, and they had to use proximity as a pickup. And I already told snappers if it wasn't for how Luto played in that second series, I'd have had snappers in over Luto. But in between over the 2 series, Luto dropped some unbelievable numbers.
Big numbers.
Just did, but again, I mean, Ant can be in here, and Ryan could be in here, being upset that that Ryan's not in the team of the week. But when you've got Shawnee, or you know, that team, any player can get in team of the week 1 week. It's just going to be a case of you know, looking at who we think is the most impactful. Obviously, stats do come into it. You do have to pick and look at players that are, you know, dropping numbers, and Luto back-to-back weeks dropped some crazy numbers this week. So he's
to be
in
honest,
it.
I haven't casted that team, mate. Snappers
You haven't.
and
You
that
need
are
to get on and
they're
cast that team.
avoiding
That is,
me.
it's an impressive team.
Trust
They've
me,
lost.
it is-
Well, even the series they lost, I think they like outslayed the other team ridiculously. So, yeah, I think it's looking at that. But anyway, chat. One thing that you will see is
we have
the team of the
3
week
people.
is Shawnee, Quintana, Luto. However,
We have
we
3
have
people with
3
2
other
votes.
players that have 2 votes each. So out of
we'll give you a
Akuma-
couple of minutes. Get in the
I
chat.
I should be the
Oh,
decider.
well, Brookz can decide.
Bruce can decide. Now
Out
I'm
of
going to
Akuma,
give you.
Hasty, and Ollie.
I'm going to give the stream here a little
get the
bit of an
poll
idea.
going. Yeah, get the poll going.
What? No, Ant, it's got to be the 3 players that
No, that's not. The three players that have been picked twice.
out
And
of Akuma, Ollie, or Hasty. Get your votes in the chat. Who do you want to see in this team of the week this week?
Oh, because they've all got 2 votes each.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, for a little bit of backstory, no, not Quintana, sorry. Akuma dropped 30 kills and 8 deaths on a hotel hardpoint. 30 and 8, by the way. I know we don't talk about stats all the time, but unreal.
Big numbers.
Yeah, big numbers. 8 and 2 on the search, and on an Expo control, the guy dropped 38 kills. I don't know what his deaths were, but 38 kills on Expo control.
The hit
I mean,
rate,
that's the reason why he's in my team of the week, because
yeah,
that's
the numbers he
unreal.
drops every week is tremendous.
You know, again, I don't want to harp on about stats, but when they're that good, when you're almost dropping 40 limbs on an Expo control as a sub player, if to me it's a no-brainer
Yeah.
having him in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
mate,
make
yeah.
your mind up. Is it Hasty or is it Akuma?
I'm gonna give some
to
gas to
happen, no.
Ollie as well. Why Ollie's in my team of the week is in a 3-2 win. In the first map, he went 26 and 20. In the first S&D, he went 12 and 6. In the control, he went 29 and 21. In the hard point, he went 31 and 21. And in the game 5, he went 9 and 3. And again, his S&Ds have been lights out throughout the whole series season this so far for Emerald. He has carried them
He's
to
been
some
the main boy.
S&D wins. He's been unreal in S&D, and you know his numbers in the respawns this week particularly was impressive as well. So it's a tough pick. Hasty again. I mean, I didn't have them to hand, but I'll pull them up real quick because they'll be in the chat.
It's a tough one to beat.
Yeah.
Though.
It's a tough one to beat because
there's some
ultimately,
big boy numbers being pumped out there.
Yeah,
Well,
Hasty.
I'm
you've
more
not
though.
got-
Hasty
I've
brings
got
up
to
the
give more
numbers.
gas to someone who drops numbers in S&D though. That's got to get the ultimate gas, mate.
well, this is
Just
it,
wait
does
till you
it?
see Hasty's.
So Hasty
That's a reason why he's in my pick.
went 12-3 in a S&D. He went 24. He dropped 24 kills in a 3-1 win on Control, and he went 38 kills on Hotel Hardpoint.
Yep.
To win their series 3-1, I think it was. So 38 kills on Hotel Hardpoint. But really, yeah, well, worth noting, we played top 3 team in the div, and Sapphire played a team who have only won from forfeits. Oh, I can't lie, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
And you need to make your mind up.
Yeah, this is.
Everybody is. All right, well, we're going to let Brookz.
Yeah, Brookz can be the final
the
decision.
ultimate say.
God, this is a tough one, mate. So
It-
Akuma, are we saying Akuma played the shitters?
yes.
And Ollie, I don't know who Ollie played though. That's another div, isn't it?
They played Org Alliance, which was Cryo's team.
Well, that's a pretty tough team.
Audacity,
Numbers.
Cryo, Hiera was
Hiera.
the other. Yeah, that's
yeah,
a good team.
He's a good player. Yeah, that's a tough one. Mate, I'm gonna have to go.
Hasty now.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go Hasty.
Hasty.
I think
Final
so.
decision.
I was gonna go Ollie, but now I'm thinking Hasty with those numbers as well.
Final decision for Hasty.
No, I'm going Ollie. Boom.
Ollie.
I'm picking Ollie because I didn't put him in my thing. So yeah,
There it is. There it is. Your final team of the week for this week.
I'm going Ollie. Give him.
Big
Big
him
boy
the nod.
Ollie.
I'm right, and I picked him in my team of the week, and I'm looking at that. Hasty has had 2 team of the week appearances so far. That would have been his third. But yeah, I think Ollie, I think they all deserve it, and that's the whole point of team of the week. We have so many teams playing, and only 4 of you can get in. I personally,
Yeah, look, Hasty said he wanted the hatch. He's had a couple of Mars bars already, mate. So you can give it to
Hasty,
someone else.
if you keep shooting your gun, if you keep shooting rockets out of that gun like you continue to do,
yeah.
you'll be in it again. Don't worry.
And Akuma, you can actually. I picked you. Jack, I think, picked you as well for having an Unreal series.
Yep.
You can blame the other owners for not picking Akuma or Ollie. I mean, Quintana has got in there. He had a good series, but Aqua lost their series. So, yeah, he wasn't in my team of the week. A little bit of controversy this week, but
Oh, you can't put losers in the team if you ask me.
wow, this is
Yeah,
the
that's
other
the
three,
argument
the other three
between the
owners.
owners.
They're not here to back up their decision,
Yep.
putting Quintana in, unfortunately.
I think I heard your guys' analogy the other day of is it Haaland or something if he scores 6 in a lot or whatever.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It was a very good point put to
He's
me.
still a loser. Do you think Michael Jordan wanted the losers medal, mate? No.
Yeah. Oh, actually, thanks for backing me up there, because I
That
always
stuff
thought I
goes
was being
that stuff goes in the bin.
right. I do have Quintana's stats. In
No.
a free.
If
Nope.
Sorry, Deeks. If you ain't first, you're last.
You're
Yep.
second. There you go. Well, Quintana's in. Bit of controversy, but Ollie, Luto, Quintana, and Shawnee. Congratulations on team of the week this week. You've just got to others that want it. Snappers, you've just got to play
Just
better.
gonna try
mate.
it. Just try harder. Just shoot
Just gotta
back.
To be fair,
Just
come
get
on.
more, mate. Just
Yeah.
get more kills.
They
So,
got a couple
get
of
more
purple
time on
bears in
hardpoint.
there.
Moving
They've
on
done
to the
well. They've
next
got
one.
A couple of purples.
We have asked the big man here his ultimate team out of 22. So
The
in the
22
in the
This
chat,
is from this season.
Yeah,
though.
from this
not
season.
the
in
current
the
teams,
chat,
you said.
have a little guess at who is in it, and
Who's in Brooksy's ultimate 22 dream team?
Me, Luto, Shawnee, and Hasty. I mean, that is a disgusting team
Yep.
based off team of the week appearances. But unfortunately, throw it up, Jack.
Ginger's in the chat. Ginger, who do you play for, bro?
Orcadia, Brooks, mate,
that-
you're gonna be casting. You're gonna be casting us against
Oh
him.
yeah. This is Brooks' dream team, mate. It's gonna be. To be fair, I was a bit. It was a tough one when you asked me because I haven't seen the purple bears, mate. Because I've seen Ryan's been doing bits in some of the clips and stuff. So.
Holy zero out time. No,
Zero hill time.
Shawnee doesn't like getting in the hill, but he will do it if he has to.
Yeah, he'll get some hill time, but that's all vibes, all kills. Yeah,
Yeah, can
you
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 imagine,
upset every
mate?
single team with that, but
Can you imagine Taze and Luto flying at you with Zappy and then stiff old Shawnee over the back,
yeah.
mate? Old Grandad over the back, just blazing away. Ugh.
Pretty
I
impressive.
can't lie. On paper, it's a disgusting team, and the black and purple together does look pretty nice. I think maybe you've just picked the team based off colours, mate. Maybe aesthetically,
'Cause,
it's
you
pleasing
know,
to see.
I'd between Shawnee and Ollie, and like I say, Ryan as well. So yeah, I
Snapper
just
say
think
I'll pick that team too.
Zappy's an auto pick for me. Zappy's obviously an auto pick.
Ryan,
I'd
you should be
personally
trying every week to get into the team of the week, not just this week.
I'd have put Ryan in over Shawnee. I can't lie, but fair enough.
Like I said, I haven't seen Ryan play this whole game. I haven't seen it. He's avoided me.
Although Akuma is an interesting shout,
What's that
and
mean?
yeah.
What's that mean with the? He's avoiding me, so he gets that. Is it? It's not Skittles, is it? It's M&M's.
yeah, Ryan. As a person that's teamed with Ryan, the guy knows Call of Duty.
Oh yeah. He's absolutely the brains of that team.
The
Absolutely.
thing is, does Ryan think that he could control those three boys?
Lewis, no, never. Nobody can control Lewis. Lewis does what he wants.
He does what he wants, but you just got to let a player like that do what he wants to do. Same with like Akuma if he played in a team like this. Someone that just drops numbers like he just drops, you've just got to let him.
They control
Do the
Dolly
thing
for
they do.
years.
But now I'm back in Snapper's bad books as well.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Right, so that's
In the brains of the team.
Oh,
Snappers.
next one. As we mentioned earlier, clip of the week.
Clip of the week this week. Probably no surprise, but throw it up
Drum roll, please.
if you're able to throw it up.
I think
Don't
it's
mess
up.
it up.
It is up. It's there.
I did
There it
catch
is.
this as well. I was watching this live.
That's just the pure reaction. Shawnee's
You just gotta
reaction.
love.
Yeah.
You gotta love Cass's reaction. So this was the clip you were talking about, Brooks, wasn't it? He gets that one. Oh, the timing.
Yeah. Shawnee's reaction just makes it. Not taken away from the 1v3, but yeah, Shawnee makes it.
But you've also got to
He nearly
praise.
fell off his chair. Both of them nearly fell off the chair.
If you're
Snappers was
organised
on
here,
me.
you can't be like both turning away at that
But
point.
yeah, like this is what I was saying. Like
He's
he's
stunned.
there. The second guy goes to jump the corner and doesn't even jump the corner. It's very strange. And they
Yeah,
both-
I don't
I don't know.
know what the second guy's looking at. Like, he's not even looking at the cut. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Snappers. I thought he was going off the chair there.
And what I will say is, Snappers, and you've actually quite impressed me as a caster. I can't lie. It's quite natural.
Snappers was very good, mate.
Although it was funny, he casted a game the other week and he kept forgetting the other team's name and kept getting it wrong. It was so funny watching it back because it was like he could tell that he got it wrong, and there was a split second where he had to go like, "Oh, come on, you know what it is. Stop saying it wrong," in his own head. But yeah, it's funny. So that is your clip of the week this week. Don't forget, if you're playing a series that's not casted, clip
Get
a
the
clip
pictures.
that you
Get pictures. Get clips. Get the
Put your
screenshots.
clips in the clips of the week channel in our Discord, and you might be featuring next week.
And if you ain't casted, I could cast over your clip.
Yeah, cast over it and just have a little rundown
And
of
Ant wants
I'll
the
react
sound
to
up
the
for the
clip.
clip.
yeah. Brooks,
we
be
go.
ready
I'll
for Tuesday.
put it
yeah,
back.
big grudge match this is.
Ready, Ginge. Don't you worry, brother.
Is that better? And that might be slightly better.
Let's
quite loud in my headset.
Stuns are in as well. 1v4 now. You know exactly where he is. Carl's going to take down one.
Carl will get his one.
Let's get away with
Steady
this.
Is that a bit better?
Steady pop.
I hope so.
Might got timing on. You might got timing on. You might got timing on.
Yeah.
On!
Carl with the
Oh
We've
my
also-
god!
Yeah, oh, it's nice. We've got to
Carl
throw this in
with
the clip
the-
of the week as well, because that's the only good thing Carl's done all season.
Yeah. Apart from being
I'm
forfeit.
only joking. He's done well. He's done well.
Right. We
Great
move
clip of the
on.
week.
Sean, this is probably your segment to talk about.
This is.
the leaderboards that came out.
Do we have a picture of it?
I am not 100% sure.
It is in our penthouse chat, but can you pick it up and put it on without messing the stream up?
I hope so. We're still here, by the way. Just I'm trying to get a picture. Where is it? Nah.
Play with new players. He's
Oh,
probably
I've ruined it.
getting caught
I'm back.
sprinting.
Nah, I can't find it. It's going to take too
There we
long.
go.
We're back.
Okay, and he's bugging it up. Oh,
No,
he
I'm
hasn't.
back. I'm
There we
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic that we just want to move on to is the XP.
You could
I'll
get it up on
just-
your phone, yeah.
I'll pull it up on my phone. Basically, the XP had put in their announcements that they've worked out a XP leaderboards. It's in their Google Docs, and yours truly, 22 Esports, is number 2 overall in the EU scene in the XP, and
Second.
I believe this is based off win percentage. Am I right in saying that?
I have no idea.
I believe it's
just see
worked
the
out a
thing-
win
I
percentage.
just
So
see the little medals and stuff like that, so I thought.
yeah,
it was
so
more...
based off kind of like, it's average placings. I guess win percentage, average placing. Either way, it's based off performance. So we are second behind Dava Esports, is it?
Diva.
Dava Esports, which I guess I only found out yesterday they've rebranded, haven't they?
Yeah, they're Vendetta Esports
Vendetta
now.
Esports now. So I guess they've had better placings than us. So I want to see this season that moved up to number 1. I want to take that number 1 spot.
It's a big
But
ask, but we can do
it's-
it.
Who is the question is which one of the teams is going to get that chip, the gold medal?
Well, let's go
Well,
through them. Let's go through the teams.
I
So-
thought Onyx was going to be up there, but
Start from
they're
the
gone.
top. Yeah, Onyx
I'm going to go.
went kapoof,
the
disappeared.
purple boys. The purple boys could do it, mate.
This boys Div 3.
They could
Well,
take Div 3.
Div 4.
This is something.
Well, Div
Div
3.
4 we have Emerald. Emerald again? They're starting to click. I think they can grind these wins out. They've gone to a lot of game 5s, and I think now that they're starting to get the wins, I think that's where they're hopefully going to be able to make that playoff run. But one thing that's going down the chat right now, Brookz, that you probably want to get involved with is in Division 6, we have the 7-0 22 Axonite against the 6-0 22 Sapphire.
It's another Classico.
Yeah.
22
Well, this is a
Classico.
Classico, but this will be for someone's O's got to go on Thursday. Akuma versus Hasty, Blue versus Brown.
Cool,
I
that's
think-
a good
Sapphire
team
versus
of the week.
Axonite.
Who wants team of the week, boys?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
Exactly.
if we don't get a chip in Div 6, it will be a serious, serious breakdown.
Yeah, what a breakdown that'll be.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that we will see an all Div 6 22 grand final. We're keeping our fingers crossed. So
Yeah.
L22 Echo, I like that. So and then you've got us in Div 5, which Ginger's in here.
Yeah.
We're beating
Fucking
Ginger.
coming to get you.
We're getting first seed going into playoffs. I'm away for a week, so I will miss one, potentially 2 playoff games. So as long as my pickup can do a job for me, get us through the first round or 2 of playoffs, I'll get
So-
back and
If you're in the chat and you're a very, very stiff AR, hit me up.
hit me up.
Currently looking for a duo for a week.
So, but yeah, we've got some good competition in Div 5, but we've been playing well. So.
Pick buff.
he'll pick up for me. But going back to the overall leaderboards, I'm interested to get your thoughts on the orgs this season, because there's, with you in the call here, Brookz, obviously you've been around the Vanguard scene last season and now this season. Is there any orgs that stand out to you? Of course, except for us. We stand out the most. I know that would be your answer, but any other orgs that you are looking at that you're impressed of, whether that's because of their league performances, or maybe the content they're putting out, or their graphics, their overall look? Is there any orgs at the minute that you
I
think?
would say probably second to you guys would probably be IA.
Yep.
Yeah, Incentive
and
Rice.
That's going off obviously competitiveness as well. They seem to. They've won every season though.
Yeah.
At least one division.
Yeah.
And I think I casted 2 of their divisions last season, and they've always shown me a lot of love anyway. But I mean, just the way they conduct themselves. And
Yeah, I mean,
their
their teams have
graphics and
been
stuff.
Div 2 winners, Div 3 winners, haven't they? They've been.
Yeah, like I said, some of these orgs though, the games obviously you guys are doing amazing stuff. Even Prime started at Extreme, and you think
Jordan.
Starting that just 2 seasons ago, he's really come on and
Yeah.
leaps and bounds. The qualities that they put out.
Well, I will say that didn't start 2 seasons ago. Remember, that was Extreme were the team that beat us in the Major Chafing Cup final, all the way back. Was it season 1 and season 2 of Vanguard?
Season 2
season
of
one,
Vanguard.
Yeah.
So he's always had it there, but I think this season when he went.
I'd never heard of it before now, but I mean,
Yeah. And
Well,
this would have been
graphics,
all
I
different. Me and Jordan were possibly starting our own org. I might not have been here, but yeah.
And it's good though, because you got Rogue as well down in the lower
Rogue.
divs. They've got a lot of lower divs teams, and they do a lot of stuff for them divisions, which is kind of good stuff. And then
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue Amy, if you're watching, stay away from our teams.
they were the Axonite boys, didn't they? Before we confirmed them and brought them on. It was always the thing was.
We had just as Vassal as well. They've done a good job this year, but unfortunately they just haven't seemed to have picked up the decent teams. They've obviously invested and done well, but just not had the right teams.
But I think they'll learn from it. I mean, we've been there before. I think early doors with teams that we don't. I mean, at this point now, we know if a team is good when we get kind of approached or we are looking to pick a team up. And I think they're probably going to go through it. With how they look. I think for me, Clan Salaya ones to shout out. I think I like their graphics.
Clan Salaya again done another.
They've always had some good graphics. Always had fairly decent placings. Vasal's walkout videos on the George Mac main AR. I remember seeing that on Twitter. That was good. That was pretty good stuff. Ginger, I want to shout out Arcadia. I think Arcadia are a team that are coming into Call of Duty, who seem to have started in other, I think it's like Valorant or Rocket League, other esports, and this is their first season competing in Call of Duty. And they've got a good look about them. They're obviously, they know how to go about promoting them themselves.
Are pretty nice, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, like you say, we've got Alliance as well. Alliance have done good things, and Vendetta as well. They've won a few chips.
Yeah.
Or what was they called? Dava.
Yeah, Dava. Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's what I was saying earlier about just teams splitting up too much. You got to think I feel for you guys that put in all the hard work for the orgs. Sometimes taking advantage of.
Well, this was a big thing, but before we even started this, even season 1, before I think the game was even out, I think we all sort of sat down and was like, right, this season, this called especially season 3 now, I think we let all of our captains know of our teams that we expect a certain level of standard now. Winning the Katana season with the Onyx boys, with Fish, Mitch, Cesar, and I forget the 4th on that team, my bad, but winning that Katana chip was getting that winning feeling was, I think we just want to feel that even more, don't we, Jack? More. I think we said winning is now something that we are wanting to get. We want it to become used to winning, I think, at this point now. So we set our teams out. We placed them in divisions that we thought was fair, because we also don't want to try and cheat the system. We want our teams to play in divisions we think their skill level. But we also looked at the teams and thinking, are you going to win your division, or at least be competing in your division? And
we've also took slightly more control, not control, but if we've told the teams if they're not performing, then they need to start making changes, because at the end of the day, we put teams into these divisions so they can win.
Yeah.
Carl's
there's-
come in the chat. Captain Carl's bringing home Div 4 chip.
But this is the thing. I mean, if a player isn't pulling their
Is he
weight,
getting
if they're
60s in? That's the question.
I think we've had teams in the past where a player has like not turned up to a league game, or not turned up to scrims all week, and the team's gone into a game unprepared. I think our point this season was we want our teams like on as regularly as they can be, scrimming as much as they can, going into league games not just with a 10-minute warm up, like being as prepared as they can be,
giving them
the best chance to win. So hopefully we'll be taking that #1 spot in the XP leaderboards. We're 8th overall versus XP. Obviously have quite a big league over in the States, so 8th overall globally. Not a bad spot. Again, hopefully we can get top 5 globally. But
I'll ask that to Brookz. What team do you think is trying the hardest right now?
Out of
Axonite.
all the teams?
Yeah, out of our teams, I think. Or
what's trying the hardest? It's a tough one to say because, like you say, not trying to diminish the lower divs and stuff, but obviously keeping on top of the game towards the top divs and that, it obviously does require a bit more,
like preparing and
it's just a little bit more.
But that's why I will give Axonite.
I just think the lower the divs you can go down, it is more just based on talent and stuff like that.
Well, this is why I want to give Axonite that crown there of trying the hardest, because they're a team that have actually are going over. They're treating Div 6 like it's Div 3, Div 2.
Which
like
is that's what you want to hear, mate.
Yeah, they're going into these. Aqua in Div 7 as well. They've approached it where they've I think they've had a substitute in Quintana play 2 series now because they've just I think they lost a series and looked at perhaps what they can do to improve. So they brought their substitute player in and bench player. It's kind of like something you see obviously within like the CDL. Some teams will bench a player. So we wanted a lot of our rosters to have at least 5 players on their roster, maybe even 6, where if you do need to, because you're going to need times where there's a pickup, but you want teams to be able to make that change if you feel like a change needed. I think Emerald are looking to try pick up a new AR. Kinney is looking like that now he's leaving that team. I think probably because Kinney's on a 60 hertz monitor and isn't, is hindered badly when it comes to his setup.
30 FPS playing on Fortress.
30 FPS on an Xbox, it's not great when you're playing a Div 4. So I think with Kinney playing Div 4, where perhaps, like you say, the skill gap gets a little bit better, teams are a lot more prepared going into their league games. He's taking the decision, I think, to step away from the team. So they're looking to bring in a new AR now. So we'll see who comes in. Akuma, you guys. I don't see you guys scrimming. I don't know. Are you on everyday scrimming? I know that obviously you're trying to get your league game schedule, but I haven't seen you boys like grinding. But you probably have. I hope so. I hope all of our teams are grinding. We got some scrims back to it tonight, but yeah.
Going back to the previous point about like the orgs growing, we aren't doing this just for our own benefit. I'd say we're doing it for the scene. We want the scene to grow. You want it to grow as much as you can. It's not just all about. It's not been about selfish.
This was like the decision of trying to start this Twitch. Really was. We want to give even like the lower, because I know with Brookz you've obviously casted a lot of like lower div teams, and there is some talented players down there that maybe are just playing with their mates and don't want to play higher up. And I think you want to kind of put a spotlight on some of these players. Like Akuma has come into Div 6 and lit it up, and I mean, hopefully he stays with his boys and they go on to win, things in the coming seasons. But a player like that, you go like, wow, where's he come from? Luto, when we picked him up, Jack, someone that no one had really heard of. So I think it's giving a spotlight to some of these players, giving them a platform where if they want to
make a difference,
they can climb higher up. There are higher teams. Amethyst, if there was a situation where they needed to pick a player up, they might be looking at some of these lower div teams and saying like, you could quite comfortably hang, come and play higher up, that kind of thing. So, and that helps with being able to put them on the streams, get them casted, because it's difficult to find a caster. You're obviously getting asked to cast like multiple times a day, so you're booked up a lot.
I think that I'm like a dick or something. Like someone's like, "Oh, you don't cast below Div 2," and I was like, I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you get you got to think, like, shout out to XP in that, and then obviously you got Katana of divisions as well, like 3 divisions as well. You got 9 divisions of XP.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the average game taking as well, if you add in a little bit of milking in the middle of it, the average game takes like 2 hours,
2 hours,
possibly, you know?
Well,
and there's
obviously
like, what, 10 teams in some of those lower divisions in each group, 20 teams total?
You know, I try and get round a few people, and, you know.
What I have noticed is teams in 22, like, for example, teams splitting up, they also seem to pick up other people from the org. That's why it's good having, what we got in a Discord, 240 people.
So people, yeah.
It's always mix and match with teams. There's so many different teams that can be made from the people in this Discord. It's good to see.
And that's it. I think like now we're at a point where we've done the kind of growing, and if we can get some of these teams winning chips now, that's like the ultimate goal, because we want teams to stick with us and, you know, be with us long term. Like, we don't want to have a new team every season. Of course, there's going to be some seasons where a new team will come in. Sapphire's a, you know, new team of 4 to us this season. But you know, throughout pretty much the last 6 to 8 months of the last 2 CODs, I mean, a good chunk of our teams and players have played with us since early doors. So that's kind of been our goal, really. Not just say, well, you know, we want them to win, but I think we also want them to. We want to build them and grow them as well as you know, putting the spotlight on them. But I'm waffling now. I think we're just we're
just getting old. He needs his nap.
Luto and AC needs to be the duo before I stop playing this game. We'll be reunited one day.
Yep. So I think
anything else you want to?
Anything else you want to say? Anything else from the chat? Brookz, anything you want to get across there?
Yeah, just can't wait to get started.
Yep.
And
stay involved in the Discord, and you see exactly the role that the Brookz is going to have.
Yeah, I've been quiet. I wasn't allowed to really talk because I didn't want to give too much away in the Discord. So I have actually been there. Someone didn't see me slide in about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Probably Zaffy. Zaffy, they said he called it from the start, mate.
Yeah, someone messaged me. It was just like, I'll see you in the 22 Discord. And I was like, I don't know how I got there.
Just interesting, because we've got a channel in the Discord which is questions or suggestions for
Jacko. Thanks for the follow again, but you've just fucking broke my eardrums again.
Jacko, how's it going, bro?
Put some suggestions of what you want to see from Brookz and what you want to see from us in there as well. It hasn't got to just be this Codcast. You know, if there's anything you want to see.
Want to join me for some content and stuff, obviously hit me up. And who's going to carry me to Iridescent? That's the question, mate.
Yep.
The first series, the 22 series, Burger to Best.
We'll be taking applications in general chat from now. If you want to get involved, send it in.
You can't be a milker, so I'm not playing.
Yeah, and you also can't be an iridescent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ollie,
you've got to be
unlucky.
Because if you're gonna get annoyed at Brookz,
Ryan's, and like I said, he's the boy, mate. So get him in, Ryan. Get in.
Ryan's they're in Iridescent.
Yeah, Iridescent already. Sign me up on my Smurf. Ginger.
Kinney can't play.
Ginger. We've played with you before, remember?
Yeah, Kinney. But what if we get Bagger in rank play?
Yeah, you'd be on 30 FPS, mate.
I know. Can I be owner, please? You need to do a lot more than that to become owner.
You gotta get 120 frames first.
Yeah.
Go get a new monitor first, and then we can talk.
Have to have
a PC. I haven't got a PC. I'm playing on my Xbox.
Right, well, boys,
so
I think.
So is excuses, then, Deeks? Is that what you're saying?
No, I fully. I think I've fully come to terms that I'm not gonna have a PC for a long time. So I'm hindered, but it's not an excuse. I'll do what I can when it comes to competing. But yeah, I think that's probably a good place to end it.
Another 33 minutes. Episode 3.
Again,
yep. Oh, you'll be on whenever you like.
Whenever you're free.
Once again, follow the socials, etc., etc. And if you've got any questions for next week, there is a chat.
Forget, any of you in the chat, if you've missed, you know, majority of it or half of it, Thursdays 6 o'clock. We go live, or the VOD will go live on YouTube, and you can watch on Spotify as well.
Yep.
Thursday, so go run those streams up listening. And yeah, we'll see you next week, boys.
See you
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Thanks
week.
for everyone in the chat. Thanks for all the follows. Love you all. We'll see you very soon.